Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
It's not candy and egg hunts. This is Holy Week, with tomorrow Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Christ is risen. Alleluia. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America for a Thursday. I'm a day ahead. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much, and welcome to Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday. And I'm Zeb Bell, and good morning to you. Our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and our friends at Valley Wide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch. They even got bunny rabbits over there for Easter. You better believe it at Valleywide. Right now, good morning to everybody as we will check with Wheels and see if we have a Pledge of Allegiance person. Good morning.
We do not, but I will gladly do the pledge.
You're one jump ahead of me. I was going to say, oh, yes, we do. Go ahead, Wheels. Thank you.
All right. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, I appreciate it very much, man. Thank you so much. And right now it's the weather forecast with MichaelRogersWeather.com, and it's brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. And tomorrow on Friday is the girls' night out. That's right, another craft extravaganza at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Call them if you haven't got your RSVP in at 678-6945 and look for the blue door. All the newly refurbished furniture, carpet, flooring, everything at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. And right now, here is the weather.
Good morning. Look like you've got some situations that are going to be looking good as far as the weather is concerned. Cooler temperatures at least all the way through the weekend. Should start to warm up to mid-60s, mid-to-upper 60s by Saturday night, Sunday. But you got a slight chance of rain and snow on Saturday, possibly Saturday night, but it's going to be short-lived. Sunday is looking pretty good with temperatures in the upper 60s. The beauty of our weather going through the weekend is that you're done with the wind. There you go. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather, feeling whether you got.
Thank you very much, Michael. Excellent weather forecast brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door, 678-6945. Merv May, let's sell some cattle. Come on in here.
All right, you get set of steer calves here to get $31, going to 31, going to 32.
Oh, that's the chant of my favorite auctioneer, the world's best, Merv May, over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And for more sale information today is sale day at 10 a.m. You can call the office at 678-9411. You better believe it. Here's a partial list of some of the cattle going through the ring today. From the BYU Ranch over to Malda, 80 head of 5 to 700 pounds 3-pound calves. Jared Udy bringing in 90 head of mixed yearlings over to Malda. Ted Tracy up at Elmo. Hello, Ted. 75 head of 750-pounders. Rhett Cameron over to Rupert. Hello, Rhett. How you doing? 40 head of mixed yearlings. Three String Cattle Company in Rupert. 20 head of yearlings. And the Oak Valley Dairy bringing in 70 head of Holstein heifers, along with butcher cows coming in from TLK Dairy, South Ridge, and East Ridge Dairy. 10 a.m. is going to be the starting time for the sale today at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, he gets the steer calves here to get all the 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, 1.5, sell them $1.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
I don't mind that kind of a bottom price. That's pretty good. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. As right now, I'm going to say a very happy anniversary to a couple of people that are absolutely the dearest of friends, and nice to have them over here in the neighborhood, and that's Kiltman and Lori. Jeff and Lori May, thank you so much. 39 years today. 39 years in holding for their wedding anniversary. Congratulations, and the very, very best to you both. Thank you. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And while we have just a moment before we get in the swing of things this morning, I want to remind you, I said just a minute ago about Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. I wasn't kidding. They've got bunny rabbits. I mean, here a bunny rabbit, there a bunny rabbit. They're all over the store. You ever tried to herd bunny rabbits? I mean, they're jumping here. They're in the clothing section. Whoop, wait a minute. They're over by the boots. Look out. They're all over. And bunny rabbits for Easter at Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. And don't forget, too, every Wednesday they get in a shipment of chickens, and they've got all your fertilizers and your mulch and your bark. I mean, if you're into gardening, they've got it all for you right there at Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Sean, Mandy, the whole crew at Valley White Home and Ranch. And don't forget, they wish you and yours a very happy Easter, okay? Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Also, don't forget our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, as we were talking about a little bit ago, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. They're open 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. You need light bulbs? Hey, Wheels, I'll get there in a minute, man, I promise. All the light bulbs, all the wattages, all the fluorescent lights, all the ballast and repair parts, I'll tell you what, they've got it all for you right there at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Call ahead, have your order waiting for you, 678-0459 at Ramsey Heating and Electric, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell.
Yes, sir.
You know, Easter's coming up this Sunday. I had an uncle. He passed away several years ago, but he was born on Christmas and passed away on Easter.
Oh, my.
He was a very kind and giving man, and it's I thought that's just kind of ironic and fitting.
No, it's not. It's a tribute, a blessing, and it's a remembrance, and it's not ironic at all. And I value your remembering your relative on that day, or both days. And for those of you in the audience that are wondering who I'm talking to, this happens to be a man that's one of my best friends, George Mass, over at Rupert. George, simply put, I say kudos to you and your wife, Donna, for what you did to get that Rupert monument for our fallen soldiers with the flag at half-staff. That was an exemplary work of going through the legislature, through the Senate, through the House, and now to the governor's desk to sign it, and congratulations to you.
Thanks, Zeb. It was not a one-man show. I had a lot of support. Senator Cameron and Representative Fred Woods, they were awesome. They believed in what on the bill 1155, and they believed it, and they sold it. We just kind of tagged along. And all the supporters that called in, thank you. That meant a lot, and it helped a lot. So.
All right. Well, I'll tell you something. I was honored to be a part of it in any way, small shape or form. Thank you very much, George, and appreciate your comments. And to you and your wife, happy Easter.
Thanks, Zeb, and thanks for your support.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thank you. You know, that just shows everybody that, yes, you can get something accomplished even today with all the paperwork and all the yays and the nays and, oh, you can't do that. Yes, you can. George and Donna absolutely were. They bowed their necks and said, yes, we're going to go after this and get it done, and they did. One person complained about the flag at half-staff, and this is a wonderful monument, absolutely a wonderful monument to honor all of Idaho's fallen veterans, and like I said, George and Donna Mass did so much along with many, many others, and they said, no, we're going to fight back because this is a tribute to our fallen soldiers, and I think all students should see the process that they went through with both the bill from the Senate, then going to the House, and now to the governor's desk. Absolutely, that is government in action. And I appreciate what they did. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't forget Denny's Restaurant. Oh, my goodness sakes, I'm telling... Boy, I got a hot pot coming from the station this morning. Wheels, it is Red Pistol hot. We're going to take that call in just a minute. I want to remind everybody about Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, with the best of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, they are good. The food is delicious. The service is impeccable. You're going to love it. Thomas and Terry and the whole crew at 611 Overland in Burley. It's the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. And our next lunch bunch will be on April 23rd. Don't forget that. Anytime's a great time to stop in at Denny's and enjoy the food. Denny's Restaurant in Burley. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I got some breaking news for you that I heard on the radio earlier this morning.
Oh, good. I can't hardly wait to hear it.
Yeah, the Forest Service has made a study, and it says that dead trees burn faster than living trees.
And the point is...
They had to make a study to find that out.
You know, these people, I'm going to come right out and say it. If somebody's offended, I don't care. I am absolutely a supporter of us, the state of Idaho, taking over federal lands in the state to be better managed, better timber management, everything. Because it's a proven fact that when we had the fires, the big fires back in the 90s, that the state lands were far superior managed over the federal lands. The federal lands went up like a dynamite keg and burned up, and to have studies like this, pardon my chuckling at you, I didn't mean to sound rude, but sometimes you got to wonder about the incompetence and the imbeciles that are running the asylum.
Well, they just let the fires burn. They don't even try to put them out. There's not a fire that starts that they can't have out in less than a week.
Well, I'm not going to put a time frame on it because of the severity of some of the issues, etc. But I agree with you that I would like to see more control for our state. Caller, thank you very much, and now we know how wood burns. Appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Berry Equipment and Rental, they know that this time of the year you are really busy. You're doing all your work that you possibly can for springtime. You're outside. You're getting this done. You're getting that done. You're out there getting the garden ready. Well, if you need machinery and you need tools and you need equipment, it's right there at Berry Equipment and Rental. And they've got 3 locations to serve you: South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and Highway 30 in Burley. Nick and the crew over there in Burley. They've got the Coyote tractors, the Walker mowers, Bobcats, the great big Doosan loaders and excavators. Oh my, it's all there for you at Berry Equipment and Rental. We're going to maybe have Nick on a little bit later on this morning from Berry Equipment and Rental in Burley. Don't forget, Twin Falls, Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, Berry Equipment and Rental. Caller, don't go away. I've got one more good word to get out, and that's, of course, with our buddy Scott about, landscaping and sprinkler service. And he's over in Paul. Number to call, 438-2485. If you want your trees properly pruned, you give them a call. I learned a lot when he had him on the air here about a week ago about pruning properly the trees and everything. He can get your stumps dug out and do all your landscaping and your tree pruning and your sprinkler systems, everything. Give him a call, 438-2485. Good old landscaping and sprinkler service. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. You know I'm not going to go away. I'm your biggest nightmare.
Al, it's actually worse than that.
Well, at least I keep you honest.
Go ahead.
Anyway, kudos to George and his wife. I mean, them two lovely people. Glad to see it happen. And to the person that complained about it, tough. If you don't like it, stay the hell away from it.
Al, this point is worth talking about just for a minute. You and I both know, because we've talked about this in private conversations, you get one fly in the milk. And that voice today seems to have more bearing than all the voices combined that are for a project. And I am sick and tired of the minority, the vast, very small minority, having so much power over the majority.
I know. I mean, I've seen it going on and on and on, and just like your Forest Service, back in the 48s, 49s, and 50s, you go up in the hills, in the South Hills, up to Hagler and all through there, beautiful timbers and all that stuff. Go to Greener Summit, beautiful country up French Creek and Salmon. Yeah. All that country was beautiful because we kept spraying them.
Yeah.
But what happened? Forest Service takes over, and it goes to hell in a handbasket in just a few years.
Well, I'm a big proponent of the state taking over and back many of the public lands underneath their own wings. I am not a federal government supporter or lover.
No. Everything they touch goes to hell in a handbasket.
If somebody's going to carry the basket.
Anyway, I heard you with Thomas the other day talking yesterday.
Yeah.
He didn't mention that they only got me on reservations anywhere but the door.
Yeah, we did call. We alerted the security. We have called the fire department and the police department. Al cannot sit near a door, and I'll tell you what, we're watching you.
Good. Somebody better.
Okay, buddy. Thank
Have
you.
a good one.
All right, bye-bye. Hey, Penetron Soil Conditioner by Maisie, with a 21-year proven record of increasing yield and quality of all Idaho crops. Penetron by Maisie, speeding germination. Adrian's going to love me messing that up. Speeding germination, reducing crusting, and improving stand, stimulating root growth and microbial activity, and building soil structure. And saving water, too. That's right. That's a big cost advantage to you. Penetron treated crops have better roots at reduced stress for water and nutrients, and they will increase your crop's performance with a proven soil conditioner. Penetron by Maisie. Get the original, not the cheap imitations. You contact your crop advisor today. You say, hey, I want to find out about Penetron soil conditioner, and for more information, you can call Adrian Arp at 734-2255. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I wanted to bring this up this morning, and because there's going to be, very possibly on this program, more straightforward talk, because I want everybody to know where I stand and where this program stands on various issues. I don't want any gray area. I won't accept any gray area. A person brought it up to me the other day that maybe I should form some kind of a disclaimer at the beginning of my program that says what I stand for and what I don't stand for. And I said, I don't have to do that. I'll just tell everybody right out front what I'm against and what I'm for. And I made a very, very partial list of some of the things that I am absolutely against. So you know where I stand. You want to criticize me, you go right ahead. I am absolutely against climate change. I don't believe in it. I never did. First of all, by the environmentalists and the Al Gores, they called it global warming. They had to change the name to climate change because things were changing. There was 8 feet of snow in Massachusetts, but there is no such thing caused by man. I have done my own research on this. I've called scientists of repute all across this country, and And there is no such thing as climate change caused by man. It's nonsense. And to read some of the nonsense in our local Times News newspaper and other nonsense that is spewed across the news on the networks, don't believe they're garbage. And please do not fall into the Obama trap of what he wants to do for climate change, because it's nothing more than control of you and I. Is that simple enough and plain enough to understand? Also, very simply put, I am against gay, lesbian, and transgender special rights and gay marriage. I will say that up front because of my religious beliefs and the way I was brought up, my biblical beliefs, etc. I will never accept that. So don't try to push me into a corner. You won't win. I am also against lying, stupid, amateur government. I'll repeat that. I'm against lying, stupid, amateur government. And when I say the lying, I'm talking about the likes of this administration with Obama, John Kerry, and Harry Reid. Very stupid government leading us into the various pitfalls and traps, if you will, now with a very poor, very uneducated international deployment of what our so-called ideas are and ideals to help the rest of the world. And it's very amateur. And it takes on, in the entirety, the Obama administration. What I am for is much more energy exploration of the gifts and the assets that God has given this country. We don't have to rely on camel jockeys. We don't have to rely on the Straits of Hormuz getting the oil to us. We can be self-reliant, self-sufficient, and a much richer country. I am for a more decisive management of wolves to get them down to the numbers agreed to. I am so fed up of these bleeding heart liberals, these crybabies, these wannabes up in the Ketchum area and other locations that are trying to distort what was agreed to on a treaty, if you will, with the people that don't want the wolves and the people that do want the wolves, and the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, and of course the danger of having them put back on the endangered species list. We need to get them down to the numbers agreed to. Better management, which means literally, in bottom line language, killing a lot of wolves. And I'm for the Bible, especially this Holy Week, and how it is worded. I am not going to allow men, modern day men and women, to taint the meanings of the words in the Bible. I'm going to stand behind it. You don't like it? You turn on another program or listen to a tape of Barry Manilow. That's it. I've got another list that I'll put out next week. Now that I've made some of you mad, that's okay. It's time for the Capital Press Ag Minute, and I want to stress the fact that it is brought to you by a lovely lady. I mean, I am so blessed to have Mount Harrison Audiology on this program with Christine Pickup. I went over there and had that hearing test the other day, and it's a very comprehensive screening to find out where your weaknesses are in your hearing. And believe me, hearing is not an age problem. I keep stressing that. Hearing loss is not normal. And if you're subjected to loud noises or continued loud noise, you better have your hearing checked. And please get a hold of her today. Christine Pickup, and she's the doctor of audiology at Mount Harrison Audiology, 312-0957. Here now, the Capital Press Ag Minute.
Today's Ag Minute brought to you by the Capital Press, the West Ag Weekly. Critics say the World Health Organization's conclusion that glyphosate probably causes cancer runs counter to what numerous other studies have found and should be withdrawn. In a report issued after its March meeting in France, the WHO's International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, said glyphosate, the key ingredient in Monsanto Company's Roundup herbicide, is probably carcinogenic to humans. The finding is the opposite of what other regulatory and research agencies have concluded. The European Union's glyphosate task force says evaluations done over the past 40 years consistently confirm glyphosate poses no unacceptable risk to humans. For the Capital Press Ag Minute, this is Brandon Tenner. For more agriculture news and information, turn to the West's Ag Weekly, the Capital Press, and CapitalPress.com.
Absolutely. You be sure and call for an appointment at Mount Harrison Audiology at 312-0957. I can guarantee you that's one of the best things you're going to do for yourself, to check your hearing out and find out if there's any hearing loss and see if she can't give you some answers and some help. I'll bet she can. And that's Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology at Mount Harrison Audiology. Call them today. We'll take some more calls. Maybe nobody feels any controversy against my for and against this morning. I'd like to hear some of yours. While I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, don't forget the Book Plaza at 222 West 11th Street in Burley. These are really nice people. Colonel Dale and the rest of his crew over there at Book Plaza in Burley, my goodness, they've got all the Precious Moments figurines, and they've got all the art supplies and the children's books and the greeting cards and books in general. Holy smokes, 3 floors of books. I would hate to be hired to go in there and start counting. 1, 2, 3. You're going to be way up in the thousands of books. So please stop in today. You won't go away empty-handed. The Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I was watching the news last night, and little by little I kept getting madder and madder and madder about this situation in Indiana. And I kept getting madder and madder, thinking that 19 other states, of which Idaho is one of them, have a law very comparable or similar to what was passed in Indiana. And I am sick and tired. Maybe you're not, but I am. I am sick and tired of the sleaze, of the gutter, of the secular left having control over our lifestyles. They do. They have control over our lifestyles, whether you want to admit it or not. They do. And why? Why do they have control over our lifestyles? Because as Christians, someplace we misplaced our backbone, our spine, and we're not standing up for what we supposedly believe as Christians. We're not standing up for what the Bible says, and we have so many people that say they're Christians. We have so many pastors, ministers, church leaders that say they're devout church leaders and devout Christians. Well, why not put your money where your mouth is and start standing up and speaking out? If not, we're going to roll over like an old rug and get thrown out the back door. What's happening to denigrate Christianity is going to get worse. It mentions it in the Bible. Don't you read it? And right now we're seeing in the last year much more orchestrated attempt to denigrate, run down, and obliterate Christianity. Now, there are pastors that are listening right now in the audience are going, oh, be quiet, what do you know about it, you know? And, well, you stand up at the pulpit and then you get people enthused to really be Christians and stand up then. That's your job. And it's our job as congregate members to go out and get rid of the sleaze in our communities, our state, and our nation. That's why the Constitution says, we the people. And I heard yesterday, when I had that segment about that television show that's coming on about one of the most vile people in this country, and the Disney Corporation is going to put that together. It's called Family of the Year, and it's all about a person that absolutely is one of the most vile, filthy, slovenly individuals ever. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, we see even Disney, of course, has been compromised. I mean, they have gay pride days, and I think down in Disney World, and you know, it's really sad what's happened to society in general, but you're absolutely right on. We don't have the Christians have just been pushed into the corner. We turn the other cheek, we turn the other cheek, we turn the other cheek, and we're losing we're losing our country because anybody that stands up for the Constitution, anybody that stands up for the Bible, and in the traditions of our founding fathers that brought forth the greatest country in the history of the world, folks, and we're just letting it slide away down into the ocean.
Adrian, let me correct you on one thing, and it's only because you're a dear friend, and I think you will agree with the correction. You keep saying we keep turning the other cheek and turning the other cheek. No, I disagree with you. I don't even think we're sticking the cheek out there to be slapped so that we can turn it. We're so backward in our thinking that we don't want to get involved. We don't want to help fight something. We're not even sticking our cheek out there so it can be slapped.
Well, in that regard, I see here your interpretation. I agree with what you're saying. It really is, we're at a crisis. And I don't see a lot of my friends, I try to get them involved in standing up for the issues that are of the day. They don't want to be bothered. They just said, well, I'm waiting for the rapture, basically.
Yeah, this is cowardice.
In the Bible, we occupy till he comes.
That's right.
And I said, if you read the Bible at all, we've got some really horrendous things coming at us, but that doesn't mean we throw in the towel. We stand and fight.
Look at what's going on right now in our schools, in our government, in the news media. It's a concentrated day by day, newspaper by newspaper, television broadcast by television broadcast, teacher to students, anti-Christian attitude, and we stand back and do nothing.
Well, and the propaganda is so sly. I just happened to hear John Kasich was on, and boy, what a glib speaker he is. And he came out here and mesmerized our state legislature that we had to, about the balanced budget. That, fortunately, at least at this point in time, the state legislature has not gone forth on that. But I can tell you, he also is for Common Core, and he doesn't call it that, and they changed the name. And the superintendents, even in this area, some that are personal friends, they swallowed that whole Common Core thing, which is nothing but anti-American.
Well, we're getting off base here on my target right now. My target is, I know I'm against Common Core myself and the basics of it, but I want to stay in the vein of getting Christians to stand up for themselves and start not to turn the other cheek anymore, but to stick their chin out and get something done. That's the vein I'm sticking on.
And in that vein, unless we get rid of this Common Core, because that's where our kids are being given all this anti-Christian propaganda, is right in our schools.
I agree with that part.
We need to be aware of what's in the Common Core thing. If you don't know, better research it out.
All right, Adrian, I appreciate it.
Our kids, we're losing our kids. Look what the millennials are doing with this whole thing. So
I agree with you on that for sure.
Stand up and be counted, and the ministers need to be the flaming pulpits of righteousness and teaching from the Bible. I totally agree with you, Zeb.
All right. Thank you, Adrian.
I appreciate your program, and I hope people out there will talk to their pastors and their ministers and, get involved and do things beyond the four walls of your church.
Absolutely. Thank you for your call again this morning. I appreciate it. I know that there's probably ministers out there in the audience, and many of you might be standing up there at the pulpit and getting people their thought process that they have to get involved, that they have to speak out, that they have to do something. They have to let government, they have to let schools, they have to let the news media know that they're not going to be trumped on because of their Christianity and their faith. But, hold on, caller, but for those pastors, church leaders, ministers that are standing there and shaking their finger and their head at me right now and scoffing at me, you're the ones that I'm worried about because you are not doing your job. Caller, stand by. I'm going to be right back. I've got to get this in real quick. Don't forget our friends at Lennox and, of course, Ramsey Heating and Electric, offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. Call them at 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric, saving you money with Lennox. Warm winters and cool summers through Ramsey. Real quick, caller, I'm coming. Hang on. 43rd Annual Salmon Select Horse and Mule Sale is going to be next week at the Lemhi County Fairgrounds in Salmon. Oh, it's going to be a ripping good time. April 8th through the 12th. Mule clinics, wolf howling contests, horsemanship clinics, ranch horse competition, trail classes, barrel racings, big mule sale Friday at 6:30. A big horse sale Saturday at 1. My goodness, team roping on Sunday. It's a happening at the 43rd Annual Salmon Select Horse and Mule Sale, Lemhi County Fairgrounds in Salmon. Call 756-2125 for more information. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. And, I have to hang on to stand up. Anyway, we need to really defend our Bible. There's so many people that have never read it, have no idea what's in it. It just blows my mind when I talk to some people. They'll tell me things that's there like the world is flat and, crap that's baloney. That tells you they've never read it or don't know a thing about it. We need people that will stand up for our beliefs. And I did reach back and find my backbone. It's there, and I'll use it. I'm just calling in to say I'm going to defend the Bible.
Attaboy.
I'm going to defend Christianity. And I don't care who likes it. That's the way it's going to be.
We need to, and whether people are offended by this or not, they have a right to be offended, but I have a right to my opinion, as do they. But we need to be more straightforward. We need to show our beliefs. We need to stand up for our beliefs, and we need to stand up for our churches, and it's not happening. We're fading into the background, and then we complain, oh, did you hear what they said about Christians? Oh, those nasty people. Well, we should be to the forefront. Every church ought to have a public service officer that will meet maybe with the press or talk to the press or talk to people when things happen. I just don't see enough activity, Jerry, and I don't care who's offended by that.
Well, I'm not going to be offended by it because I know it's the truth. I know when somebody slams our Bible or slams our beliefs, we need to stand up and we need to let them know what's right and what's wrong.
Amen.
They can use any lies, any untruths, any left-wing baloney they want to use. They're nothing more than what they are.
I'll tell you something that
Trust them and forgive them for their ways.
Okay, hold on a second, Jerry. Here's something that I'll offer right now. And about a year and a half ago, we were doing this every week on the program. I was inviting a different pastor to come on the program every week. And boy, that fizzled out. And here's something I'll put out as a challenge to the ministerial profession in this area. And I do not care what denomination it is. I'll spread it evenly among everyone. You're more than welcome to call in and let me know if there's an interest in maybe talking a little bit about your church, talking a little bit about your beliefs, talking a little bit about what's going on in the news. I'll set up a segment every week. I'll tell you what, Jerry, I'd be willing to bet you dinner that I won't have maybe more than one or two call me at the most.
Well, I'll try and influence that. How's that?
Good. Go to work.
I will.
All right.
Have a wonderful day. May the Lord bless, and all them wonderful listeners out there keep on and keeping on. We need to get the word out.
All right, Jerry. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you. I got to take a couple of minutes here and get some work done, and then we'll take some more calls. Streamline Precision. I talked to Tim this morning at 120 South, 100 West of Burley, right next to Dot Foods. They are building. They are the professionals at building. Right now, now listen, farmers, the best way to control things is to have it right on your farm, and that's why I'm a big advocate of on-the-farm grain storage, and they can put up all the grain storage for you. They're an authorized dealer, Sukup, Chief, Balin, and Nucor Buildings. They know what they're doing. You call them for an estimate today, 431-7314. 431-7314. You call Tim Vaughn on that number right now this morning. Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 west of Burley. And they're a family of companies providing construction, excavation, and fabrication services. And believe me, they are good. They're currently building the brand new Funk Dairy south of Murtaugh. Call them 431-7314. Streamline Precision. The professionals building for you. Caller, I'm going to ask your patience. Stay on the line just a minute. I'll be right with you because I've got to get the weather in here real quick. Red's Trading Post, 203 Fifth Avenue South in Twin Falls. Ryan and the rest of the crew, what a great staff. Very knowledgeable people that know all about guns, ammo, and accessories at Red's Trading Post in Twin Falls since 1936, serving you. Here now, Michael Rogers weather.
Good morning. Look like you've got some situations that are going to be looking good as far as the weather is concerned. Cooler temperatures at least all the way through the weekend. Should start to warm up to mid-60s, mid-to-upper 60s by Saturday night, Sunday. But you got a slight chance of rain and snow on Saturday, possibly Saturday night, but it's going to be short-lived. Sunday is looking pretty good with temperatures in the upper 60s. The beauty of our weather going through the weekend is that you're done with the wind. There you go. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
All right, Michael Rogers weather brought to you by Red's Trading Post, 203 Fifth Avenue South in Twin Falls. Guns, ammo, and accessories at the best. Red's Trading Post. Good morning, caller. Thank you for your patience.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
My wife was running through Rupert, and it was snowing here about a few minutes ago.
What? It's not April Fool. That was a couple of days ago.
You know, what's that?
I said it's not April Fool. That was a couple days ago.
No, that was today.
Okay. All right, buddy. Go ahead.
Ready or not, right? Okay. Anyway, as far as the Bible goes and that, you know, the problem is a lot of this youth, you see it in our politics all the time, is somebody says something, and then somebody else says the same thing, and then somebody else says the same thing. So instead of finding out for themselves, they just go ahead because it was said by so-and-so.
Yeah.
And they think that they know everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, instead of knowing the Bible or the Christian teachings or something like that, they're taking the word of somebody else that may be against it or just flat out doesn't know what they're talking about. And guess what? We get a whole bunch of people that are just stupid.
Well, Jeff, the problem has got to be solved within the churches. The problem has got to be solved with the church leadership and the congregate members. The problem has got to be solved with a concentrated effort of speaking out on various subjects and letting their voices be heard. Why do you think, people, that the gay movement in this country, the gay marriage movement in this country, has gained so much traction? They don't have the numbers. They're very minority numbers. But yet it's their loud voices. Think what we could do as Christians if we would start standing up and speaking out.
I agree with that. But I also think it needs to start with the parents before the church. Parents are your first step. If they can't teach their kids right, you're not going to have, I don't care if they do go to church, they're not going to learn. Most of them.
But I will maintain with you, and you being my neighbor, you know I'll tell you as soon as this happens. I'll bet you a dinner that I will hear from maybe one or two church leaders at the most, over my asking a few moments ago for them to call to get on the program and so we can start some kind of a concentrated effort to fight back. Most of them will not call, will not do anything.
I agree. You know, the thing is, they've got to stand up for it. If they don't stand up, how do they expect us to?
There you go. That's a great way to end the call. Jeff, thank you. And by the way, to you and Lori, happy anniversary again.
Thank you, my friend.
All right. God bless. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's see. Oh, did you know that Denny's Restaurant is having their grand opening today in Twin Falls? They've got another one at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Thomas and the crew, Denny's Restaurant. Oh, my goodness, the great food today. They're going to have drawings for free meals every hour. They're going to have 20% off meals from 9 to 11 this morning. Ribbon cutting cutting at 10 o'clock with the Twin Falls Chamber of Commerce. It's going to be a fun time. Denny's Restaurant, grand opening in Twin, 291 Pole Line Road. You stop over and please tell them we said hello. Also, real quick, I want to remind you on Tuesdays we have a segment called Dr. History, and it's brought to you by Minnecash Sales at 1321 East Main in Burley. Zach and Joanne and the rest of their excellent crew with all the doors, the garage doors, the installation of windows, and all the vinyl and metal siding and the countertops. Oh, and by the way, they also have the Tartar Farm and Ranch equipment. The best. Right across from the Burley Airport, Minnecash Sales, 1321 East Main in Burley, bringing you on Tuesdays Dr. History. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Call your pastor. Call your church leader. Call your ministers. Tell them to call me. The number's easy. I've said it 1,000 times on this program. 312-2976. That's my cell phone number. 312-2976. I would love to work with them. I would love to create a segment to where we as Christians can fight back and do it in a very professional manner to let the world know that we're not going to be stomped on. Have them call me. Oh, I'll say it again, 312-2976. And I'll stand behind my statement. I doubt, seriously, if one or two will call. Isn't that a shame? We're the first to squeal. We're like a bunch of little baby pigs. Oh, did you hear what they're doing to us? They don't like us. They want to do this. They don't want us to do that, etc. We're squealing, but we're not doing anything to fight back. That is our fault. It's all our fault. No more turning the other cheek. Because quite frankly, like I said a few moments ago, the way things are right now, we're not even sticking the cheek out there to be slapped. Give me a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I had to chuckle because I can just imagine some of the hate emails that I'm going to get. Oh, by the way, not that I'm going to run away from you on that. I'll even give you my email address for those that are not wanting to have their voices be heard on the radio. It's zebattheranch@hotmail.com. Zeb@theranch, all 4 words, and then the @hotmail.com. Okay? Love to hear from you. Don't forget, spring tire sale going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with the best tire value in the industry. That's right. That's a promise. And very convenient credit for tires and services. They want to work with you. You stop in and see them today. All 7 locations with a great big tire sale going on right now. Absolutely the best in brake service, and that's not brag. That's a fact. Front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, it's all there. But check out all the tires you need for safe summertime driving right now during the big spring tire sale with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, John on Pole Line and Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All right. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear, I've got to talk to you about this too. Did you hear that Lois Lerner with the IRS, she lied in front of Congress? She refused to testify questions asked by Congress. She was held in contempt of Congress. Oh, but contraire. The Department of Justice, led by whom? Oh, Eric Holder. Why, it came out yesterday that Lois Lerner and the contempt charges and her not saying anything or giving any information, she will not be held in contempt by the Department of Justice. Imagine that. Why? That'd be like crucifying and processing acts of law against your own family members. Oh, the Obama administration doesn't want to embarrass Lois Lerner. They don't want to have Eric Holder and the Department of Justice pursue any charges against her. No, because then the truth will really come out. Isn't it absolutely sickening for you to sit there and watch the news and hear things like Lois Lerner, well, I refuse to answer that question based on my Fifth Amendment rights, etc., and then tell lies and refusing to answer questions that people needed for the IRS being the big bully that they are? And then Eric Holder steps in and says, oh, we really didn't find her to be at fault, so we're not going to do any prosecution on behalf of the DOJ. What a phony bunch this administration is. Okay, and that includes also our dear old friend, Harry Reid. I was thinking the other day, instead of having the show on television where they have the show called The Biggest Loser, which is in regards to weight loss, why don't they just have the show named after the person that it should be named after? The Biggest Loser, Harry Reid, and his lies and disgusting lack of leadership. Caller, real quick, I got a minute left, fast.
Yeah, tell me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Congress have federal marshals at their beck and call? Why can't they have them go and arrest Eric Holder and her both?
With the protocol of how everything is set up with the Department of Justice and, of course, the Attorney General and everything, I would have to go through everything based in the Constitution to find out what the legalities are or aren't. And at this time, going into the news, I'm passing the buck a little bit. I don't have time, but I will look into that and get back with you on Monday's program. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks.
I got to run. Right now, we're going to send it back to CBS News, hopefully. And then we'll be back next hour with the Chamber Report and other goodies. Don't go away. Zeb at the Ranch. I'll see you in 6. Oh, welcome back. Hour number 2, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and our major sponsor, of course, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and our friends with all the bunny rabbits for Easter and everything else, Valley-Wide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Bunny, here a bunny, there a bunny. They've got everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valley-Wide Home and Ranch. In just a moment, we're going to run over to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, so stay tuned for that report with Kay Cameron standing by. Also, don't forget our dear friend Joel Heward, manager of Hanson Mortuary, along with his family, staff, serving you. 710 6th Street in Rupert. I'm going to give you the number first. Remember this number. Write it down. Put it by the phone. Save it, because they're there to serve you. 436-5636. They believe that every life is worth remembering, and they always uphold the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity after there's the passing of a loved one, working with you and your family. So please, give them a call today, 436-5636, Hanson Mortuary with Joel Heward. Please call them today. Before we go any further, also, I want to remind folks and thank our friends at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Tomorrow night, they're going to have on April 3rd another girls' night out at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. And a lot of crafts and ideas and everything. It's going to be fantastic. 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for their blue door. They bring you the weather every morning when we sign this thing on at 8:06. Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. 678-6945. Let's go to the telephone line and say good morning to the one, the only, the great Kay Cameron at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce.
Wow, that was quite an introduction. Thank you.
Well, I read everything you gave me on your card.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. What's going on over there?
Well, it's been a busy morning. You know, the first of the month is always always our annual or our monthly board meeting, and very productive, a lot of good information shared, and it's going to be a great month, the month of April.
Now, isn't the women's conference right around the corner?
It is. It's coming right up. April 23rd is our big day, and tickets are available here at our office. You can come by and pick them up. They are for sale now. We do have a couple of spaces left for vendors, but if somebody's interested in being a vendor, you better jump right on it because there's not much room left. But registration is going on now. Get signed up, get your admission, and we've got a fabulous lineup of vendors.
What are some of the things that are going to be taking place there besides having all the booth spaces, et cetera? Are you going to have some really good speakers there, too?
We are. Well, we've got 2 cooking demonstrations. We've got Diane Bevan coming to do cooking demonstrations, and she always does a great job, and they're always very popular, and we look forward to that. We've got Jan Mitleiter coming to present. She has been heavily involved with the College of Southern Idaho for years and years, as well as health and fitness and the Arts Council, and so that should be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. We've got Ben Nelson, who's doing a leadership presentation, and we've got Alice Shank coming to present as well. And Alice, many people in our community know Alice from many different things, but she is about as enthusiastic as anybody I know. She's great. She's very inspiring. She's overcome a lot of things. She runs more miles than you can imagine. In fact, I saw her yesterday. She's just getting ready to head to Boston for the Boston Marathon. Again, I don't know how many times this makes for her to participate in the Boston Marathon. She climbs mountains, and she's amazing.
Well, it sounds like it. I was going to say, for heaven's sakes, that sounds like the opening to the old Superman show.
Sure, something like that. No, it's great. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come get registered and get your tickets, and don't miss the event.
Absolutely. So here we are. Can you believe it? It's April already, and I bet you're getting ready for a lot of summertime activities too.
We are. Tour season is upon us. Spring break brought in a lot of people, and spring break across the country always brings in a lot of people, and a lot of great things coming on the horizon for our community for tourism. But there's one other little thing I just want to mention. Our Mini-Casual Leadership class this month in April, their focus is on education. I've talked about the leadership program in the past, and the leadership program is an 8-month program, and every month they focus in a different sector in our community. And this month their focus is on education. And my leadership class is doing a book drive that they are collecting books that they are going to donate to a local high school when they do their education day this month. Mm-hmm. So if any listeners out there have any books that they could donate or be willing to donate, drop them off here, and then our leadership class will be donating those to a high school here in our community that has a need for expanding their library.
Okay. And for those people that might not know where here is at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce office, why don't you tell everybody?
Well, come by and see us. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Heyburn on the beautiful Snake River. I always have to throw that in because it is true. It's a beautiful day here today. Give us a call at 208-679-4793 for more information on anything, and find us online at minicasualchamber.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and connect on LinkedIn.
Very well done. Thank you very much, Kay Cameron, over at the Chamber of Commerce. God bless and have a wonderful week.
I will. Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Nice lady right there, Kay Cameron with the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Let's see. We better pay some bills here real quick, and I want to remind everybody about Lennox at Ramsey Heating and Electric. That's right. They can offer rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems, whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump. You and your family will always enjoy the comfort. That's right. At Ramsey Heating and Electric, they've been an independent Lennox dealer for almost 50 50 years, and they know all the equipment, and they've done the shopping for you. Call them at 678-0459, Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. And also, don't forget, too, Denny's Restaurant is opening today. The grand opening. Oh, yeah, they've been open for a little bit, but the grand opening is at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Brand new Denny's. Thomas and the rest of the crew, they've got two of them now, one now in Burley and the other one in Twin Falls. Oh, my goodness. All kinds of festivities going on today, like drawings for a free meal every hour through the day, 20% off meals 9 to 11, and 10 o'clock this morning, about 45 minutes from now, a great big ribbon cutting ceremony. All of this at Denny's Restaurant in Twin Falls, 291 Pole Line Road. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I got to apologize a little bit. I'm having an awful hard time hearing. The feed line coming to me from the station is very hot and distorted this morning. Wheels, if you would mention that to Jerry, I'd appreciate it. Very hot and distorted. The volume is okay, but it's really hot and distorted. And if you'd check that out for me, I'd really appreciate it. Give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We were talking the first hour, as you know, about churches and Christians having some backbone and battling back. And I'll make the statement again. I was talking to my wife during the news break at 9 o'clock, and I really do mean for church leaders, ministers, and the pastors, whatever terminology the leader and head of your church is, along with anybody that's on the board of a certain church, to call me, and we'll figure out some kind of a program that we can put on the air every week and highlight Christianity and what really is going on in Christian churches today, okay? I'll be more than happy to put that together, because it's high time, actually past time, for us to be speaking out against the different issues that are going on, not only in this country, but around the world. So, the door's open. All you have to do is call me at 312-2976. I would welcome your phone calls. Right now, I'd welcome your phone calls at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Woo! That is a hot pot. Wheels, get a hold of Jerry on that, please. It's really getting worse instead of better. Don't forget our friends at Let's Ride. Oh, my goodness sakes, they've got all your ATVs. They've got everything over there for you to have fun up in the hills. And before I start talking about the ATVs this morning, I also want to talk about the 2016 Snow Check. If you want a brand new snow machine, all you have to do is pay $500 down and get it custom built to your specifications. Now, that's going to be coming off pretty soon, so you better get in there to Let's Ride, Highway 24 between Rupert and Hayburn, and the number to call, 436-4771. That number again, 436-4771. Let's Ride. Again, they've got all the ATVs, the whole showroom chock full of ATVs, and they got the Can-Am ATV side-by-sides. You check it out at Let's Ride, Highway 24 between Rupert and Hayburn, where the fun is sold. And while you're over there on that area of Highway 24, don't forget to stop over to Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Make an appointment. Oh, my goodness. I'm getting all kinds. Oh, I'm sick and tired of hearing it's always my phone line. I've tried different phone lines. We'll try at 10 o'clock a different line, but sometimes don't always put the blame on me. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. The best of life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more through Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Dean and Todd, always dedicated and responsive to your needs. Give them a call. Make an appointment at 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, serving you. give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. A little bit later on this morning, we're going to be visiting with Nick over at Berry Equipment and Rental. And then also today, I want to remind everybody that we start a brand new gardening program, Gardening for Idiots. And it's from Vicky's Country Gardens. And all we care about is how your garden grows. And that's going to be coming up at 10:30 this morning. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Where in the world did all these dogs come from anyway? Let's go to Officer Mort with Minidoka Animal Control.
Dogs out! Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Oh, my. Absolutely, Minidoka Animal Control with our friend, Mr. Ken Mort, Minidoka Animal Control Officer. How are you this morning, sir? Is he there? This is interesting. What happened to Ken Mort? Is he there in the studio? Evidently not. I have no idea why we're not getting him.
Now?
Yes. Now, let's get the right buttons pushed and get him on the air. Thank you. Good morning, Officer Mort. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I'm doing wonderful today.
Oh, no, you're not.
Well,
okay.
I gotta sugarcoat it. It's been a busy morning already.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Have them turn you up a little bit, if you would, as you come. I'm having a real bad feed line over here. They say it might be my phone line, but at 10 o'clock we'll call back and check it. But go ahead, Ken. How are things in the dog world this morning?
Actually, they're doing really well. We are getting ready to get some transports done this afternoon and this weekend. I should say tomorrow and this weekend as well. Got several dogs that are going to new homes and everything. I do want to apologize to everybody about last week. I got kind of tied up and lost track of time moving into my new house I just bought and everything, but I want to apologize for not being here. But today we want to feature something out of the ordinary. We're not featuring a dog today.
What are we featuring?
We are featuring a 2-year-old gilding paint.
Wait a minute. Stop. You mean to tell me that now we're into the horse business also?
Well, we had a situation where there were some horses that were weren't being fed or anything.
Oh.
We wound up seizing them and could never find an owner. Held on to them for the 30 days, which we were required to. Got with the brand inspector. They had no brands, no tattoos or anything. And we have had some rescues that have stepped up and helped with getting them their vaccinations and everything. We've gotten out of the 4 that we seized, we've got 3 of them placed already. And right now we're just trying to find a good home for this 2-year-old gilding paint. And she's a great horse.
Whoa, wait a minute. You said it was a gelding, so don't refer to the horse as a female.
Well, I mean a filly, not a gilding.
Oh, okay.
Like I say, it's been a long morning, but she is a great horse, stuff and that. I mean, she takes a little bit for somebody to get used to her, or her to get used to them. But once you make friends with her and everything, she trusts you. Everything you can't get her out of your back pocket.
Now, tell us a little bit about the horse, and if you have a picture, get it posted on my Facebook page. And do you know anything? Is she a registered paint? Do you know anything about her?
Not really. The only thing that we were able to find out from the people that lived next door to the pasture that they were in is that the gentleman that had originally owned them had passed away, but he'd spent quite a bit of money on the dad, which is one of the ones that we had seized, and he had. He spent I want to say close. They said $8,000 to $10,000 on this paint stud horse that he'd had, and everything, and he was registered.
Okay.
So they were just after the dad had passed away or the guy had passed away that these horses just nobody ever were taking care of them.
Okay, and
but from what we can tell, the mare's a purebred, and that's the mom, and then so is dad, and I mean they're all were paints.
Okay. Now, what kind of and I hate to use this word, but what kind of a deal for this filly are you looking for? Are you looking for someone to come in and make a kind of a composite price to give the Minidoka Animal Control, or what are you looking for?
Well, we've been just trying to get like a rehoming fee of whatever somebody can really afford on that to be able to take them. I know right now the horse market is down in the dumps and everything. The brand inspectors have told us that right now it's hard to get much of anything other than maybe a couple $100 out of a horse right now. So I mean we're willing to take what we can get just so that we can help cover some of the costs, because we're still about $340 in the hole on hay.
Okay.
We've had to purchase. I mean, we had the Humane Society that had stepped up and bought us a ton of hay, but we've turned around and had to get more than that, because when we first got them, they were rated from a scale of 1 to 5. They were rated about a 2.
Now, let me ask you, what's the health status of this little filly as far as evidently she was not being taken care of? Evidently she wasn't getting the nutrition necessary. So what's the health status currently?
Actually, she is very healthy. She is actually, Annette, put on quite a bit of weight and is right there, Annette, where she needs to be according to the vet, and is looking very healthy, and I mean is just loves to run and get lots of exercise. She has no problem once it takes a little bit stuff in that when you first get around her to get a halter on her, but once you get a halter on her, and she leads great. She's never been broke, so whoever wants to get her is going to have to take some time to be able to get her broke.
All right. Now
she can be broke and be a wonderful, whether it be a trail riding horse or I mean, she's not real big like a lot of your larger paints, and she's more of a smaller paint. Mm-hmm. But I mean, she might make like a high school young lady and stuff, and a good barrel racing horse or something. I mean, it all depends on what you're looking at wanting to do with her. I think she's got potential to be able to do just about anything.
Tell us the telephone number as to where people can inquire.
They can actually contact us or contact me on my cell phone at 670-7268, or they can get a hold of Deb Hines, who assists me with this thing, at 670-4348.
All right. So you are now expanding your operation. Now you've got to build corrals instead of dog kennels.
Well, we're only having to do it on a case-by-case basis. Luckily, Annette, we're able to utilize at times the fairgrounds over here for housing the horses. So we've got that in there, and also I ran it past my bosses with the idea you had of contacting local area businesses, and we have come up figured out what it's going to cost per kennel. And if there are any businesses out there that are wanting to sponsor a kennel for our new location, the kennels run about $370 a piece, and we will have a plaque made and have to put on the front of each kennel that is paid for by either a business or an individual that says this kennel is sponsored by so-and-so.
Hey, man, I'm glad that conversation went well.
It did. We're going to be working on getting a flyer done up so that we can actually take around and present to the businesses as well. So if there's anybody out there that's interested, they can contact myself at 670-7268, or they can contact the shelter at 438-2200.
Ken, I want to say how much it is a pleasure to have you on the program this morning. I know you're always out there working for the animals, and we appreciate everything you do. Thanks so much.
And thank you, Zeb.
God bless you. Where'd all these dogs and horses come from? Oh, my. Minidoka Animal Control. Thank you, Officer Ken Mort. Appreciate it. While we have just a moment here before we get Rita Ramsey on the phone, I've got to tell you about Rogge Auction. Big spring consignment sale going to be held on April 11th right there at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds in Rupert, starting time at 10 a.m. You better consign now. Consign early. Call them at 431-6187 or 431-0074. They are not going to be accepting household items for this sale. This is a quality sale at, of course, the spring consignment sale at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds in Rupert on April 11th. Check out the website, RoggeAuction.com, for more details, and don't forget to consign right now, okay? Got you covered. Hey, and also don't forget Mad River Laser. What a wonderful lady. I've got to get back over there, hopefully this next week. My schedule will permit me to get over to Mad River Laser and take in all the stuff that I've got lined up for Nicole to make for my business promotions. That's right, she can do anything like that. All the jackets, caps, the sweatshirts, the t-shirts, and for the ladies, they're going to be at that Women's Expo that's coming up soon, and you need banners for your booth space, etc. Don't forget, they can mention my name and get 25% off. Where? At Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. You stop over and see them today, okay? Before we go any further and get Rita on the line, I'm going to also mention that I had a nice conversation earlier this morning with Tim at Streamline Precision. Absolutely some really good people serving you at Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, right next to Dot Foods. The number to call, 431-7314. You call for estimates on anything that you need built on your property, like grain bins. Let me tell you, on the farm storage right now, a big thing for farmers to kind of watch the markets, and they can sell when they want to. Grain bins, and they're an authorized dealer for Sukup, Chief, Balin, and Nucor Buildings. They're doing all the trenching right now for pipelines and all the concrete work for mangers and feed alleys. And believe me, they make coordinated, accurate, confidential, and consistent timelines to meet their clients' demanding needs. Where? Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Number to call, Tim Bond, 431-7314. These are the professionals building for you. Okay? Let's go to the phone line right now and say a good morning to the lovely Rita Ramsey. How are you, Rita?
Good morning. I'm real good. How are you?
Well, I'm going to ask you to speak up just a little bit. I'm having a hard time hearing this morning. Evidently, my feed line to me is weakening, or something's going on. It's really fuzzy. So if I don't hear you, I'll ask you to repeat it if you would. And I want to ask you primarily this morning, Rita, about Indiana. It seems like Indiana is a whipping post right now for the religious freedom bills that have been passed in 19 other states. And by the way, Idaho is one of those states. And I think what's happening in Indiana to people that are Christians and people that have beliefs and moral values is absolutely atrocious. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think one of the main reasons they were targeted is because there had been a little bit of rumor that their governor may run for president. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why they were kind of all of a sudden, oh, well, they've got this thing, let's target them. And then it didn't take much for a bunch of idiots to jump on board and start taking matters into their own hands.
Okay, that being said, Mike Pence of Indiana has basically said he would be interested possibly in becoming the president. But the way this is being handled to where the liberal left, and especially the gay, lesbian, and transgender movement, always trying to get their foot in the door, always trying to push Christianity down, always trying to denounce somebody for their faith and their beliefs. Somebody's got to draw a line in the sand someplace, and I hope it happens starting with Indiana.
Well, hopefully so. The very biggest problem is they start targeting people and asking them to say stuff, and these people, they ask to to say stuff, and you and I aren't any different. If somebody blindsides you and asks you a question and you answer it truthfully,
that's true.
And all of a sudden you're an idiot, or you're a wacko, or you're a racist, or you're prejudiced, or any of that other stuff, and you're kind of thinking, what did I just say? You say something very, very honestly and not even hateful or whatever, and then all of a sudden they turn it into something else. And it is. The people who are actually being targeted and losing their freedoms are you and I, just the regular people. And while I don't agree with the lifestyles of those other people, the gays and that, I'm perfectly fine if that's what they want to do. They just don't need to try to convert me or tell me that I have to do it. Why should they take away my rights just so they can have their rights? They can do their thing, and I'll do my thing, and leave us alone, for crying out loud.
Well, and I'll go a step further in the conversation here and use the examples of a couple of people that have been on my program talking about the bakeries and also the photography companies, etc. I honestly think that with government coming in and saying, you will do this, and if you don't do this, and I'm talking about possibly photographing a gay wedding or providing a cake for a gay wedding, we are going to arrest you and fine you and send you to sensitivity classes. That's nothing more than a 1940s type Germany with a Gestapo type action.
You're absolutely right, and if we tolerate it, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And the thing of it is, it's just like, you know what? If you want to get married and you want to have pictures and you want to have a wedding and everything, go ahead and do it. Ask somebody who you know wants to do it, and leave the ones who don't. Just say, well, they probably don't want to do it for me, so fine. If I go into a store and they don't have exactly what I want, or I'm thinking, well, you should be able to order this, and they just say, no, I can't, or I'm not going to, you go someplace else. So what's the difference whether it's if they want to or not? It's just that we are having all of our rights taken away from us because we're expressing our views, and they're just trying to make a big problem with it instead of just saying, you know what, we want to live our lives and we just want to do this, and we'll do it without making a big deal. That's not what it's about. They don't want their rights. They want special rights.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yep.
Takes over anybody that doesn't agree with them having special rights.
You know, it says we the people on the beginning of the Constitution, and I'm a little bit sick and tired of certain segments basically putting themselves ahead of all the rest of us and obtaining special rights. And where I'm really upset about this deal in Indiana is that people have no right to their own beliefs or thoughts anymore unless they don't conform to the government Gestapo. They could lose their business. They can be forced into what they call character improvement programs. That's not the America I grew up in.
Well, that's right. And the thing of it is you get a lot of people doing stuff, and I don't know whether you saw the deal where these people are going to different eating establishments and targeting those who have the money to go and buy brunch, and asking them all the questions about the Ferguson deal, and they're making a big deal about it. Well, you're going to have people doing this exact same thing like they did with this poor little pizza place in Indiana. Yeah. And then they start getting violent, and they start doing things that they normally wouldn't have done. I mean, they've had people on Twitter urging somebody to go burn down their establishment.
I know it.
Somebody will try to do it.
You know, Rita, here's the deal. Nobody, and this was really so phony of the liberal left and the news media. The other day on CBS, the morning show, one of the morning people got on, and I don't have the direct quote here, but I can paraphrase it and be very, very close. They were saying, oh my goodness, gays and lesbians that attend the Final Four in Indianapolis, why, they're not going to be served at restaurants. They're not going to be able to go in and eat. Rita, right there shows the phoniness of this movement and what they're saying and doing, because nowhere, I dare you to tell me you've ever been to a restaurant and walked in the door and the maitre d' said or asked what sexual preference you had.
No, that's absolutely right. And while all of this is going on, I can't help but believe that this isn't something that's thrown out there trying to get a diversion of our attention to this instead of what's going on really.
I can't argue that, because when I try to keep all the notes on the news for my morning program, the first hour, to discuss different stories, I keep going back with my pen in hand to this almost like being behind closed doors in a smoke-filled room, and they're wearing green visors, and they hold 38s in a shoulder holster. That's the feeling I'm getting over this deal in Iran, and that's kind of taken a third or fourth seat in the background behind what all this other pervertedness is.
Yeah, I think that we're just kind of chasing after a little rabbit that's leading us just on a chase instead of, okay, catch me and see what's really going on, because what's going on in Iran with those talks, or not in Iran, but with the Iranians, with the talks and everything, we're literally signing away our freedom, because anything that will happen will go through the UN. If we actually give them, the Iranians, what they're asking for, we'll give them permission to have a nuke, and all of the other countries around that area will start saying we have to protect ourselves, and so they will. And we're going to be in the middle of a great big problem, and it will come to our shores just as sure can be. And we are not giving or doing what we ought to be doing, which is saying, you know what, we're going to band together with everybody else. I mean, you would have thought after the French and the English and some of those others started pulling out of them that we would have said, you know what, we better too. It's like, no, we're going to have this deal with them no matter what. We're going to save the day. And you've got John Kerry that's negotiating that.
Oh, please.
That's pretty scary.
Oh, please. I've said this so many times it's probably worn out right now, but I want your response, because I don't think I've ever asked you. In my notebooks here, and some of the books that have been written about Vietnam and some about politicians, etc., I have some of the pictures of John Kerry when he returned from Vietnam and denigrated his fellow soldiers and also the United States of America as he testified before a congressional subcommittee. And I keep looking at that picture, and I keep thinking of the then, and I keep seeing John Kerry of now, and it's hard for me to believe that he's had a transition to be a well-respected American over those years.
Well, all he's done is just change the shirt that he had on. He hasn't changed his mind. He hasn't changed any of his values, and he's just representing, just like he was during those things when he was testifying, about Vietnam and everything, and the lies that he was telling then. He hasn't changed. He's just a grown-up hippie, and he's just absolutely doing what he wants to do, which is not good for America. He hates America. He's always hated America. America pays for his well-being and his power that he has. We've given him that, but that's not good enough. He still wants to destroy America, and I believe that with all my heart.
I honestly think that there's a lot more to an Iranian and United States agreement. I know that Russia and China and other countries have been there at some of these talks and conversations, and most of them have got up and left, by the way. But there's more to this than just the principal powers involved. There is also the entirety of the Middle East. A bad agreement could and probably would trigger an escalation for all countries, Saudi Arabia, everybody, wanting nuclear weapons to basically defend themselves.
Well, it's just totally crazy. They say, the Iranians are fighting ISIS, and yeah, they might be, but that doesn't mean that the enemy of our enemy is our friend.
That's right.
The enemy of our enemy is still our enemy, and we need to learn that.
I must change stories right now, and I want to ask you about poor Lois Lerner. Oh, yes, that poor angel from the IRS that sat in front of the hearing and she said, I choose the Fifth Amendment. I will not make any comments. And also she gave some lies to that congressional committee. And now the DOJ, oh my, headed up by Eric Holder, has said, oh well, she wasn't in contempt and no charges will be filed.
This administration has a way of payback, and I think this is one of the paybacks because they haven't confirmed his Attorney General.
Eric Holder? Or no, the
new one.
all of a sudden her name, Loretta Lynch.
The Senate hasn't confirmed her, so I think they just thought, okay, fine, the Department of Justice will do something that you're going to really hate, but we don't care because you're not giving us our own way.
Yeah. It's just so phony. I said this morning earlier, and I honestly believe it, that we are being lied to. We're being storied to, not only by the politicians, but also other facets of our economy and our industry. And when you listen to Harry Reid the other day stand up, and he's announced his retirement, and then he was asked by a CBS News reporter if he was sorry or had any apology to give to Mitt Romney because he stated some absolute lies on the Senate floor. He would not apologize, and he looked kind of at the reporter with a quirky look on his face and said, Romney didn't win, did he?
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic when you have the Senate majority leader now, I guess, who was the majority leader and should have gained a lot of respect for the position that he had and that he held. It's an entirely huge responsibility and one of the biggest power offices that a person can get. And yet, look what he's done. He's just blemished it. It looks horrible, the things that he's done. I honestly think that the reason that he's retiring is because he's got a lot of bad stuff that's going to come out if he doesn't retire. And I also think that the reason that he has black eyes and some broken ribs and stuff isn't because he fell while he was exercising with those giant rubber bands.
Hey, real quick before I do the weather, what were your thoughts about Glenn Beck and his attack on Harry Reid? I thought it was justified, and I thought what he said was well stated.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with him. I think that Harry Reid has been really bad for America, and for somebody to get up there and literally say, yeah, I lied and I'm glad that I did, and that's basically what he said.
Yeah.
That's pathetic.
And on the Senate floor, and I was not aware of this until yesterday, and I looked it up and I started doing some study on it. Basically, in layman's terminology, you can stand up on the Senate floor and say whatever you want, and you're not held accountable for any untruths or even slander.
Yeah, there's no liability there. It's funny how all of those liability things and the laws work against everybody and the regular citizen, but they certainly don't work against our Congress or our Senate, and that having to do with just like insider trading and all the other kind of shenanigans they play there.
Absolutely. When we come back, I'll do a quick 60-second weather forecast. I want to talk to you a little bit about Bo Bergdahl, because this is a story that is not going to go away anytime soon. Right now, I want to remind you about Riverview Urgent Care and Medical Center at 382 North Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-6996. Minor emergencies? Oh, don't worry. Major care. Your health is their number one priority. And when you're sick or injured, boy, it's not convenient at all. So they will do their best to make sure that health care is convenient for you. Please remember to call them, 678-6996. Riverview Urgent Care and Medical Center. Minor emergencies, major care. Here now, Michael Rogers weather.
Good morning. Look like you've got some situations that are going to be looking good as far as the weather is concerned. Cooler temperatures at least all the way through the weekend. Should start to warm up to mid-60s, mid-to-upper 60s by Saturday night, Sunday. But you got a slight chance of rain and snow on Saturday, possibly Saturday night, but it's going to be short-lived. Sunday is looking pretty good with temperatures in the upper 60s. The beauty of our weather going through the weekend is that you're done with the wind. There you go. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather, feeling what you got.
Thank you, Michael. And the weather brought to you by Riverview Urgent Care and Medical Center, 382 North Overland in Burley, 678-6996. Rita, this Bo Bergdahl story is being transitioned. It's being moved to where the liberal left is taking a hold of it, and many are saying, oh, poor Bo Bergdahl, he served 5 years in hell being held captive by the Taliban, and why, let's not let him suffer anymore. Let him go. Let him get his $300,000 plus pension. Let him just go back and be a citizen. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think that their intent is to get this diverted away, or actually intimidate those in the Army or who make the decisions to not charge him with anything and say, well, his 5 years of being captured and tortured and everything is enough, and we're just going to let him go. And I think that he probably won't get the money, that the back pay and stuff that they originally said that he would get. But I think what they will do is they'll either postpone it to where they don't have to deal with it while they're in administration, because it will really look bad for this administration, or they will just come to an agreement where they don't do anything and it'll just silently and quietly kind of, twirl away into the sunset where nobody pays attention to it.
Oh, gee, Rita, you wouldn't be making an inference, would you, on other major news stories that have been, like you said, twirled away into the sunset, like, oh, well, let's see, how about Nidal Hassan, the Fort Hood shooter? How about many other stories under this administration that have been twirled away?
Yeah, I think that, that served the purpose that they wanted, which was to empty some of those people out of Gitmo and do all the damage that they could do. And Bergdahl was a little pawn. And now he's going to just have to wait out Obama to get out of office, so it isn't reflective of his poor decisions.
The other day, and I wished I had this in front of me, but I did something horrendous. I cleaned my desk and I threw it away. I should have left my desk a mess. But the other day in the Times News, they had an op-ed in there that basically stated that the Tea Party's gone, it's dead, you don't have to worry about it, they're no power anymore, don't worry about them. How would you respond to that?
Well, while there's a lot of people that are hoping that happened, I think that we need to remind all of those that were still out here. I received a kind of a recap of a conservative leadership council meeting out of some of the Boise Tea Parties, and they came to 2 or 3 conclusions, and some of these conclusions are absolutely right, and this is what we're going to have to do. And we're going to have to ask all those who are thinking the same way as we are to join us, because this is the only way that we're going to make a difference with this next election. And that is, first of all, we did make some good strides. We got a good principled candidate for the Secretary of State, and he's on the federal land, or he's on the land board for the state, so he can make some difference possibly in that of which direction we wanted to go, which was to get our federal lands back. But we've also heard and we noticed that all of the opponent groups out there are well-funded, and they're organized, and they're coordinated, because a lot of them don't have to work. Either they're taking the dole or they're on trusting, so they don't have a lot to do. So they're out there just doing everything they can. They're being funded by people who have money, and they're organized. That's what we're going to have to do, is we're going to have to organize. We don't have deep pockets, but the majority of the people in Idaho and in our country are like-minded with us. We're just trying to make a living and raise our families and keep our communities safe. And so we're going to have to band together and get organized and start being a great big voice all in one. And as this election comes up and some of these issues, we'll just have to speak louder, and that's the direction we're going to start heading, to see if we can't get all those people out there that say, yes, that's the way I think the same way you do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. we need you, we need your support, and we need you to come to our meetings and learn the kinds of things that we can do to coordinate so that we have the passion and the numbers that the others have, and they're visible where the opposite side can see what we have.
You know, Rita, I'm almost out of time, but you said two key words right there. You said passion and numbers. And really, you're talking about the politics and beliefs of the Tea Party, but also that same phraseology of passion and numbers, it goes right along with Christians, because it's time all of us stood up.
That's absolutely right, and the passion and the numbers has to do with not only Christianity and that, but the Constitution, for crying out loud, which was given to us by some men who believed that God was directing them in what to do, and we have got to follow along that and get back to the Constitution and start being educated and voicing our opinions so they don't think, oh, we can just roll over everybody and we'll just put whoever we want in as president next time, even though maybe it's Hillary who doesn't go by the law and there's no law that will hold her accountable, those kind of things. And the only way we can do it is by just gathering together and letting them know that we have got a big voice and it's the majority of it.
Real quick, Rita, 30 seconds. Give me your opinion when they found out the server that Hillary and Bill had at their Chappaqua home had been cleansed and purged of any information. What were your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts are they said that, and I'll bet you it's there someplace. And it really surprises me that the Congress wouldn't go in there with search warrants and try to take captive any of that kind of stuff that's hidden. But, you know, you get into Washington and everybody's got something against everybody else, and, we can't attack Hillary that way, and they just kind of let it ride and let it go.
I agree. I look forward to Thursdays to having you on the program. You do an excellent job. Any final thoughts on the Tea Party meetings or anything? Real quick, I've got about 15 seconds.
Our meeting is in a week from today, April 9th, and we'll be having it at the City of Burley. I'm still waiting to hear back on confirming our speaker, but if not, we're still meeting, and we're going to see if we can't organize and get some things going. So I'd like to invite everybody to attend, and please make time to come.
All right, Rita Ramsey, a dear, dear friend. Thank you so much, Rita. Talk to you next Thursday.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice lady, Rita Ramsey, and kind of a political overview of what's happened over the last week. Appreciate her being on the program. You know what? I've been on this diet, and I'm going to leave this diet for a couple of days, and I am going to stop at these places because I am hungry and starving to death. And then I've got some great locations for you to go eat. Listen to this, the Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. And I know Kip and the rest of the crew, they've got now breakfast burritos. I love burritos, scrambled eggs, bacon or sausage, or have them both. Cheese, onions, tomatoes, sauce, all on a tortilla shell. Send one over! Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. You stop in and see them today. Oh, that sounds good. Let's move on over to Burgers, etc. 2 locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 North Overland in Burley. And starting on April 6th, hamburgers only 99 cents after 3 p.m. Are you kidding me? And oh my goodness, every Sunday at the Burley location, a shrimp dinner special. Well, you'd better stop in Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. And by the way, they're going to be closed on this Easter Sunday. And let's move over to Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Food made the way you like it. Oh my goodness, they've got fresh hand-cut steak fries or French fries. These are good. They were both voted the best French fries in the Minicash area. And don't forget to the pork chops with salad and choice of potatoes. It's delicious. Oh, what a menu. Oh my, you're going to love Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Heyburn? No, it's Heyburn, Zeb. Has been for a long time. Food made the way you like it. Last but not least, we're going to go on over to the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, have you heard? They've got a brand new sandwich. I'm drooling already. It's called the Country Fried Steak on a Bun. Country fried steak with white sauce and lettuce and Swiss cheese. It's delicious. Along with all the burgers and all the delicious shakes, everything at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. You stop in and see those good folks today. And those are just a few places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. And I am. I've been eating birdseed and cardboard for about a month, and I can't stand it anymore. That sounds so good. Coming up next hour, don't forget, we're going to have the Cassia County School Days, and we have a lady on by the name of Rachel Jensen. Followed then with a little interview with Nick over to Barry Equipment, and then we're going to have 10:30. Everybody wants to get back in the gardens. We're going to have Vicky's Country Gardens sponsoring Gardening for Idiots, named after me. And then at 10:46, we're going to talk about travel time in the Intermountain West with our dear friend Randy Wynn from Tires West. So we got a big slate of things coming up this next hour. You stay tuned. I'll see you back in 6. Morning, and we're back on Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and of course, we're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, and of course, Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, along with our friends at Valleywide Home and Ranch. Bunnies, they got Easter bunnies, they've got all kinds of items over there, all your fishing equipment, they've got all the bark, they've got it all at 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch. Gee, Wheels, turning microphone. I was just talking to you on the phone, and all of a sudden you faded off into that great cell phone in the sky. What happened? Did I lose you?
I'm not sure. My phone, since my phone's touchscreen, it does kind of mute itself sometimes. I did unmute it, and I did try to call for you, but... No, don't worry about it. No, you're fine. You're fine. I was just giving you a hard time. I was sitting there talking to Wheels during the break at the top of the hour, and all of a sudden, he left me. And I couldn't figure out where you went. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I will talk to Jerry about that. I appreciate it, buddy. You're doing a good job over there, and I appreciate your help. Let's see, what have we got cooking here? In just a very few minutes, we're going to have our Cassia County School Days, and I'm looking forward to having those good folks on the air this morning. But while we are waiting, I want to mention, too, the Chadwick Sports Grill. Have they got some delicious specials over at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Now, listen to this today. Deanne, listen to this. This sounds really good. A hot brown open-face style broiled sandwich on white bread with turkey, bacon, cream sauce, and Swiss cheese. Oh my goodness. Served with choice of side vegetables and super salad. Wow. That is quite a sandwich. White bread, turkey, bacon, cream sauce, and Swiss cheese. That is a keeper at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Great menu items. Really nice people at the Chadwick Sports Grill. You stop in and see them today. I want to also mention about my friends at Burley Physical Fitness and Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Oh, my goodness sakes. What a crew. What an outstanding crew of people, and including Jeff Jensen, a 13-year employee at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, and 14 years experience working in physical therapy. One of the nicest guys you'll ever want to meet, and he's just one of many great people at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, and along with Nick Greenwell heading up the whole crew, they are exceptional with all the sports medicine exercises, great exercises for your broken bones and your muscles that need to get stronger, along with the hydrotherapy pool with the treadmill. Oh my goodness, I love that. Helping you get back to being you. All you have to do is call them at 678-1191. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, waiting to help you.
In just a moment, we are going to get all set to go to the Cassia County School Days. And as soon as Wheels gives me the high sign over there that our guest is on the phone with us this morning. And then later we're going to have a visit with Nick over at Barry Equipment. Stand by for that. Ladies and gentlemen, for Easter, and this would really be a neat place to have an Easter basket made up. The Goody Shop at 133 West Main in Burley. Now, they can make up all kinds of baskets for you. You know, like they got the man's basket, including jerky and fruit and peanuts, and an alarm system on my phone that I forgot to turn off, along with all the kids' baskets and all kinds of neat ideas for Easter baskets. Sandwiches and salads, everything at the Goody Shop, 133 West Main in Burley. Number to call, 647-0106, the Goody Shop. Right now, let's go to the phone lines, and we're going to welcome on the program in just a moment Rachel Jensen, and she's a counselor over in Malta at Raft River Schools, at the Malta Schools, and we're going to have her on the air in just a moment. I want to mention our sponsors of School Days in Cassia County and thank them. And first of all, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and that is a family store. Go on in there and look at all the great selection of clothing for spring and all the baby material, all the games, all the puzzles, everything. Really a wonderful store and a great asset for the city of Burley. Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also, when you talk about assets in the Burley area, you've got to mention Ambulatory Surgery Center, and that's located at 1344 Highland in Burley. And the number to remember to call if you need surgeries and you want to save a lot of money, they can help. 677-8888. That number again, 677-8888. Colonoscopies, sinus surgeries, knee procedures, Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland in Burley. Well, good morning, Rachel Jensen. How are you?
I am great. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Well, not too bad. I guess maybe we're going to talk about being nice to each other. We're going to talk about kindness, aren't we?
Isn't that a fun topic? It's a great topic that we don't get to talk about very often.
You know, it's really true. I'm just going to kind of revert to the bottom of my notes here. We spend so much time, and I think it's ludicrous and sometimes almost insane, worrying about a bully factor in the schools. And in my own personal opinion, you can tell me I'm wrong, I don't think the bully factor is any worse today than it was when I was in school, which is when they still circled the wagons at night. But I think you can gain a lot by trying to be nicer to everyone. You go ahead and explain your program.
Absolutely. You know, I think we've spent years and years telling children what not to do. Mm-hmm. Don't bully, don't do this, don't do that. So many things are, coming into, the school day as far as what not to do. And how often do we flip it and tell them what they do need to do, what they should be doing? And, kindness really helps with that because it is a bully fighter. It really does tell them how to behave versus what not to do. You can spend hours telling them what not to do, but being kind, that takes care of everything.
Rachel, for little kids in kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, I think it's easier to instill a kindness attitude than it is for the older kids. Would you agree with me or not?
Very much. We've had at Raft River High School and then at Oakley. I have to give recognition to Oakley because they are definitely where this movement has started just in our little district. But we've tried to pull it through the upper grades, and it's definitely a different attitude that you have to deal with the older kids. They still really buy in, and they love the idea of, more random acts of kindness and that, approach. But with the smaller ones, they love talking about being kind and coming up with the ideas and different things they can do for each other. It's easier, because their mindsets are just a little more innocent and more shapeable, so.
Yeah. How do you set up a program? I love the idea of Kindness Week, and I think we as adults should think about it and try to implement a lot of your ideas, because I can just envision some of the people that I've had run-ins with, all of a sudden if I walked up to them and stuck my hand out and said, gee, I hope you have a wonderful day, they would probably end up in the cardiology lab at the hospital.
Absolutely, you know, and it is very different to set up a Kindness Week for an elementary school versus a high school because of, you know, the students and the things that they would like to do. But there are so many resources online that I've used, and Matt Mallory, the counselor in Oakley, has used. One of them is the Great Kindness Challenge, which is, you know, just an online program that involves millions of students across the world do this every year. And they have resources that are just so fun that schools can use, and counselors. And it doesn't even have to be a school. It can, you know, be whatever type of group that's, you know, needing a little boost of kindness. But resources online are not hard to find. But it does take a lot of time, you know, having parents involved. We've involved our PTO and our teachers and getting them on board and providing them with kindness lesson plans and letting the students know, you know, what's up ahead as far as, you know, getting it spiced up with Crazy for Kindness Day and then letting them come to school with crazy hair, or dreaming of kindness and coming with pajamas on that day. The kids really get into that kind of stuff. Even the high schoolers do. So you have to approach it just the right way, but there is no small amount of kindness-related resources online. There's so much research on how flipping the situation, fighting bullying with kindness and promoting kindness, you know, really does battle our negative situations in schools.
Now, how do we, and I don't mean to be vague on this, but how do we implement a kindness program that doesn't have to be a week, it doesn't have to be a month, but it's all year round? And especially when you look at the older kids, the freshmen through seniors in high school, where if you mention that you're going to start preaching kindness, they roll their eyes into the back of their head, they look like a cheap Las Vegas slot machine, and they probably won't buy into it. So what do you do?
It's very hard. You know, I've been very fortunate because I had a senior, our student body president actually bought into the kindness idea because she was an aide for me last year. And, you know, I just talked to her a lot and involved her a lot with a program that's called Lunch Buddies. And so we have the high schoolers volunteer once a month, actually twice a month, to go over to the elementary school and sit with a student who might need a friend and spend a lunch recess with them. And so that is a good way to get kids on board at the high school level because they're feeling like, you know, they would like to be a part of that, you know, mostly just out of, you know, the excitement of being kind. But on some level, it's good to show that as you're going into college that you've been involved in those kind of activities. So, you know, starting with things small like that and then kind of roller coastering into a kindness week, you know, you can do a quote during the morning announcements in the morning, or you can even have students on your student council who are assigned to be your kindness ambassadors, and throughout the year promote kindness, whether it be posters or, you know, writing on the sidewalk outside the schools with sidewalk chalk, kind notes, and putting notes in kids' lockers, or putting even some of the cute ones I've seen they've done is putting notes in library books in the library for whoever opens that next library book, a kind, encouraging note, or putting money on the vending machine for the next person that comes and is getting a treat. And I think, you know, older kids really get into that anonymous piece. They really get excited about it. And that's where you have to be, you know, to take a little bit of a different spin on it with the older kids. But, you know, there's no right or wrong way to do it, really. It's just depending on, you know, what the kids get excited about. And letting them be a piece of the planning is, I think, the biggest success factor that you can have. Because if they buy in and feel like they have been a piece of what brought it forward, then, you know, that's what makes it keep moving.
You know, I can remember, and I'm running short on time, but I'll just give you a quick remembrance because you really stirred my memory about this. I can remember when I was a sophomore in high school, there was a young man that moved into the area, went to the school, didn't have any friends. He was very introverted, sat in the desk during the classes and just didn't say anything, do anything, just looked forward at the blackboard. And for almost a couple of months, I never heard him speak. And then all of a sudden, his family showed showed up at our church one Sunday, and our youth group pastor and everything invited him to be a part of things, and then I got to know him a little better and started befriending him at school along with some of the other people in my circle of friends. And just by being nice to the kid, we found out he was a doggone good kid, and we had a lot of fun with him all through high school.
Oh, that's so nice. When unexpected, like, things like that. It just takes one person inviting a student in, and awesome things happen, you know, but it has to be, I think, very small steps, you know, with students that just move in and someone who's committed to saying, hey, you know, I'm all about kindness, and having the courage, because what it really boils down to is it takes a little bit of courage to just go out there and be kind. You know, you have to kind of, boost the kids and tell them, sell them on this. I have my high school student council go to the elementary school. We've done a couple different assemblies, and, I really have to build them up, and they do such a good job. But they sell kindness, and the kids buy it because the older kids are cool, and so if they're into kindness, some of the younger kids really get into it. So, once you get it started, in baby steps, because it has to be very gradual with the older kids. The younger kids just kind of fall in. So
I absolutely agree with you, Rachel, and here's what I want to do. I want you to call me back in a couple of weeks and maybe put together some thoughts and ideas, not only for the students, but also for us adults. Maybe teachers that go to the teacher's lounge and don't speak to everybody. Maybe business people that don't go to the business meetings and talk nice to their cohorts in crime. Maybe we all could learn from you and some of your ideas. So you call me back in a couple of weeks and we'll gear it towards us old-fashioned fogies.
I would love to. Thank you for the opportunity. We'll have good things to talk about in a few weeks then.
All right, I'll look forward to it. And this is Rachel Jensen, counselor over in Malda. God bless you, and I'll look forward to having you call.
Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you very much. Kindness Week, I like that idea. And that's part of Cassia County School Days for today, brought to you by A Child's World and the Ambulatory Surgery Center. Thank you very much. Oh, got to pay some bills. Let's not forget about our friends over at Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, next to Dot Foods. You can call Tim Vaughn. Hello, Tim! 431-7314, and get estimates on what you need built on your property. I've been mentioning every day, and don't wait on this, farmers. They can do the best job around putting up grain bins for on-the-farm storage or other farm buildings. They're authorized dealer in Sukup, Chief, Balin, and Nucor buildings, and they can do all your concrete work for your mangers and your feed alleys and trenching for your pipelines. They know, and they are the professionals. You call Tim today at 431-7314. They're building right now, as a matter of fact, the brand new Funk Dairy south of me right here in Murtaugh. The best. Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, 431-7314. Oh, busy day today. And the next couple of days are going to be extremely busy. And I also want to remind you real quick about Denny's grand opening. You're saying Denny's restaurant? What are you talking about? Well, today is the grand opening of the new Denny's restaurant at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Oh, my goodness, all day long. You better check out all the festivities. They're going to have drawings for free meals every hour of the day there at Denny's restaurant, and 20% off meals up until 11 o'clock this morning. Oh my goodness. And the big ribbon cutting ceremony is going on right now at Denny's restaurant in Twin Falls, 291 Pole Line Road in Twin. Let's go to the phone lines right now and see if we have old Nick with Berry Equipment and Rental. Nick, are you there?
I am here, Zeb. How are you today?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to take it easy for the next couple of minutes, and I'm just going to sit back, and I'm going to let you brag about what's going on at Berry Equipment and Rental. What are you doing over there now? It's springtime.
Well, I appreciate that. Right now, we have some really good deals on Walker lawnmowers as well as Hustler lawnmowers. Start at $27,995.
Okay.
And Walker came out with a really cool one. Now, a lot of you guys out there know that Walkers are the Cadillac or or whatever of the mowing industry, and they're expensive. We sell a lot of them, but usually they've started at about $10,000. We came out with the new one this year, and it's down under $8,000. It'll bag your lawn. It's got a great 3-year warranty on it, and we've already sold 4 this year.
Oh my!
Come check them out. Of course, we allow for demos on your property. We'll bring it out to you, let you test it, and see what you think.
So now, let me get this straight. All they have to do is call you over at the Burley location at 159 West Highway 30 and say you want to test one of those Walker mowers, and you could get yourself into a real problem of mowing a whole bunch of lawns.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Okay.
But the thing is, I let the guys who are demoing the mower run the mower. So I don't run it for you. You go mow it on your own property. We drop it off, show you how it works, then we'll pick it up the next morning or pick up a check, whatever you want to do.
All right. Now, let me ask you this. What makes a Walker mower so special? What makes them the Cadillac?
So they have the absolutely best cut in the industry. They have a 10.5-inch blower that sucks all the grass, leaves, debris from your lawn up into a hopper on the back of it.
Holy smokes, stray dogs and kitty cats better beware.
As well as rebar. We had a guy suck up some rebar. It did not do him any favors, but that's how powerful that machine is. It leaves your lawn looking as good as it ever has.
You're going to have a whole bunch of naked dandelions out there.
That's right.
Okay. Now, along with the Walker mowers, you've got all the Coyote tractors and the Bobcats, and I mean, springtime means cleanup time and maybe doing some improvements on the property. You've got all that equipment.
That's right. We rent, of course, as well as we sell. Our tractors start at $30 an hour. That includes the trailer. If you'd like to buy one, decide that you're tired of renting, they start for under $11, and that's a 24-horsepower tractor with a loader.
Mm-hmm.
So really good deals on those right now.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you give them a little training session so that when they rent a Bobcat, they're not just going to spin in circles all afternoon?
We do. If you haven't ran a tractor, if you're not familiar with equipment, we make sure that you are by the time you leave. You can ask as many questions as you want. Your time doesn't start till we see your taillights.
I'm telling you, you've got everything over there, and I drive by your location and I marvel at who is the genius that figured out all the parking locations, because you've got a lot of equipment crammed into a small space.
Yes, we do. We have everything from the Doosan loaders to Bobcat skid steers and, of course, Coyote tractors.
Now, of course, Nick, I would assume that if they want to buy outright, they can, or if they want to rent, you also have great rental plans, right?
That's right, and we rent everything we sell. So whether it's a track machine, tractor, or excavator, we sell all our used equipment, usually every 2 years, keeps our rental inventory fresh, and get some pieces out there at pretty good discounts.
Absolutely.
For the commercial guys.
Now, you have the location at 159 West Highway 30, but what about the listeners that are listening right now, let's say over on the north side or over on the west side by Twin Falls? Tell us about that.
So in Twin Falls, we're by the old hospital on Addison Avenue, 465 Addison Avenue West. Then in Jerome, we're on South Lincoln, behind the auction yard. And quite honestly, I can't remember the address right now.
That's all right. I think I have it right here. It's 2331 South Lincoln.
There you go. Appreciate that.
That's all right. You just gave me a 10% discount when I want to come in and rent a Bobcat.
Well, you didn't have to do the address. You'd always get a 10% discount, Zach. You know that. There
you go. And I'll tell you what, these are nice people. Folks, I have worked with Eli and Nick for quite some time now doing their ads, and these are straight-up guys that really handle excellent equipment. Barry Equipment and Rental. Nick, you got final thoughts? Anything you want to tell anybody today, go ahead.
Yeah, come on down, just see what we have. We have fair prices, excellent equipment, and our goal is to make you guys happy. So come out and say hi.
All right, and look out for the little dogs and kitty cats with the Walker mowers, right?
You got it.
Okay. Nick, happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter to you as well. Thank you, Zeb.
All right, thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you. Really, really good folks at Barry Equipment and Rental in 3 locations, Twin Falls, Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Oh, don't forget, still have time. Go to the bookstore and Office Supply on the square in Rupert, 515 5th Street, and see Becky and the rest of the crew. They've got some Easter specials for you, 20% off on the clothing and 45% off on all their books and 30% off on the home decor items and the delicious fudge, different flavors for all the Easter baskets and peanut brittle. I love peanut brittle. Oh, fantastic. The bookstore and Office Supply, 515 5th Street in Rupert. I'll be right back right after this break.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KVAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh my, here we go. Last half hour on a Thursday. And we're going to be starting a program right now that I look forward to all winter long, going into spring, because the lovely Miss Vicky of Vicky's Country Gardens at 185 South, 600 West of Paul, presents Gardening for Idiots, named after me. Good morning, lovely Miss Vicky.
Good morning, Zeb. What happened to our nice spring weather?
It went to Florida.
I think you're right. I'm hoping we aren't going to get March in April, and April was in March, because I don't know, maybe Mother Nature's having Alzheimer's issues and forgets what month she's in.
Well, I can tell you this, that you have forgot more about flowers and gardening than I'll ever know, but I do know that Deanne sat there last night and looked at her flowers that are blooming, and she looked at other things, and she said, please don't get so chilly.
Yes, it got cold last night, but, I mean, we knew it was going to happen. I mean, this is Idaho, and it's, we're still real early. Everybody thinks they're behind, but really we just had some really warm times earlier than usual, so everybody thinks they're about a month late, but they really aren't. If they stop and look at the calendar, it's only the 1st of April. So
okay, now
everybody's still in good shape as far as getting ready for a garden or planting a garden or getting all that kind of stuff done. You're not behind yet.
Okay, now let's take this one step at a time. For me, the novice gardener, and what should we be thinking about and doing right now, Miss Vicky?
Well, it's a good time to get, if you haven't rototilled your gardens and things like that, it's a good time to get the rototilling done so that if we do get some real wet weather, it's already done and you get the moisture going down in the way it needs to. It's a good time to get your compost on, that type of thing. A lot of people are trying, there's some people that have already got their gardens rototilled and are trying to plant, and the things that can go in right now, if you've got it ready to go, are your peas. They love cold weather.
Really?
Yeah, peas do. Radishes, lettuce, spinach, cabbage. Those are kind of cold weather crops. But they like the cold weather. It's way too early for tomatoes, peppers, anything like, beans, any of that kind of stuff.
So what you're saying...
Another month, so...
What you're saying is that we can go ahead and plant some things, and they will even survive under a foot of snow in April.
Yes. Yeah, peas and all that kind of stuff they do. They like the cold weather. And if people are wanting flowers in their yards and they're looking at their flower beds thinking, yeah, I'm sick of brown, I'm sick of this. Pansies are a great thing right now. So they love this weather.
Okay.
They love the cold. The frost doesn't hurt them. The snow doesn't hurt them. They'll pop right back up. They bloom beautifully right now. And pansies are ready, they're ready to put in right now.
Well, then, how come they call them pansies? If they're that kind of tough flower, why do they call them that?
The meanest little flower there ever was. They can handle snow, cold, sleet, ice, wind, the whole bit. And then you still call them a pansy.
No, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to change it right now today. On behalf of Vicky at Vicky's Country Gardens and Zeb at the Ranch, we're going to call them toughies.
Toughies instead of pansies?
They're going to be toughies from now on, not pansies. Remember that.
That's a good name for them because they are tough and they bloom so pretty. And they will, if you put them in the shade, you can put them out in the sun right now, and they like that. So, if you're wanting some flowers in your yard, that's the one to go to right now. Some of the perennials are starting to bloom. It's good time to get perennials in. They're tough enough to handle the weather. So
All right, there you go.
If you've got that gardening itch, you got to get something planted, and you got to have something to do. Those are the things you can plant right now.
All right, and don't forget, we're no longer going to call them pansies. They're toughies.
They're toughies.
Okay. Now, tell us a little bit, in the time remaining here this morning, tell us a little bit about Vicky's Country Garden. I mean, you flew to Tahiti and everything during the winter months, and now you're back to work for the rest of the year, right?
I went where?
To the south side of Paul.
I didn't go to no Tahiti. I just stuck around here.
No.
I must have had a good time then if I went. I just didn't remember it.
Okay, well now...
but no, we've been going since about the end of January in here. We've got our baskets all planted. Baskets are starting to bloom and look pretty good. Got lots of stuff going, so... we've got all the chemicals in, everything they need to get their gardens going. Compost is here, topsoil, all of that type of stuff.
Okay, and then I'll go back and say, like I did last year on the first program, I've got some notes that if people that have never had a garden before, never, and they have questions, they should call you and help with your expertise how to map it out and how to get it started, right?
Yeah, that's great. We'll be glad to help them. Not a problem at all.
Okay. And
we do that on a regular basis with people that have never done it before, and we can give you pointers on how not to overplant, what to plant, where to plant it, that type of thing, how to put your stuff together and get the plantings to where they, you know, the ones that need a lot of water don't want to go mixed with the ones that don't need a lot of water because then you get in trouble. So, yeah, we can help map all that kind of stuff out without any problem at all.
Okay, and then it's just nice to stop by Vicky's Country Garden at 185 South, 600 West of Paul. And by the way, I'm sure that you'll have more coming in this year. You also have the floaters.
We'll have floaters coming in a little while. Yes, we'll be getting a few of that kind of thing, water plants and stuff in. So, basically, like I say, if they've got spring fever, this is a real good place to either get more spring fever or kind of get a little bit of a dose of spring fever in here if you haven't already got it. So come on in and see us, and if nothing else, just come in and enjoy the sunshine and the greenhouses. You think you're in Tahiti when you're walking around in here.
Well, just look for Vicky and the staff all wearing bathing suits and sunscreen, and it's just a beautiful place, right?
Well, no. You have to walk out of the greenhouse every so often, and it's a little cold at that point in time.
Okay. The lovely Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Gardens, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. Vicky, I'm looking forward to next Thursday. Take care. God bless. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Deb. Have a good day.
Oh, I will. Thank you much. And be sure and give her a call, too, if you have questions at 438-5663. Vicky's Country Garden. She is a good sport and really knows all about gardening, I'll tell you that. Let me take a look here. What have I got to get done in the next couple of minutes? I don't really have anything. We're going to talk to Randy Wynn in just a few moments, but I think what we'll do right now is we're going to talk a little bit about the weather. And the weather this hour is brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, and they're at telephone number 324-7657. Now, you know what? Don Scarrow and the rest of his crew, they've got what is called a tax return meat package. What? Yeah, for just $300. Listen to this. You get beef, you get pork, you get chicken, you get cheese. It's delicious. I mean, like ground beef and rump roasts and New York steaks and pork chops and bacon and chicken and the cheeses. Oh, my goodness, it's fantastic. So call them today, 324-7657, and they're located at 331 North Road, Jerome, selling taste one bite at a time at Scarrows Meats. Here now is Michael Rogers weather.
Good morning. Look like you've got some situations that are going to be looking good as far as the weather is concerned. Cooler temperatures at least all the way through the weekend. Should start to warm up to mid-60s, mid-upper 60s by Saturday night, Sunday. But you've got a slight chance of rain and snow on Saturday, possibly Saturday night, but it's going to be short-lived. Sunday is looking pretty good with temperatures in the upper 60s. The beauty of our weather going through the weekend is that you're done with the wind. There you go. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather, feeling what you got.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Brought to you by Scarrows Meats. Don Scarrow and the rest of the crew, and they're located at 331 North Road, Jerome. Telephone number 324-7657. They are selling taste one bite at a time. I want to give kudos real quick to a gentleman that's been on my program numerous times, and he's a good old boy. Yes, sir, and that's Dan Olmstead with Idaho Power. I see that Dan Olmstead, who is the Community Relations Representative for Idaho Power, has been honored by Idaho Power for being a part of their business, Idaho Power, for 25 years. They had his picture in the paper and everything. So kudos and congratulations to Dan Olmstead. Good old boy with Idaho Power. Congratulations. Let's go to the phone lines right now and see if Wheels has got our guest on the phone with us, and that would be Randy Wynn at Tires West. Randy, are you there?
Zeb, how are you today, bud?
Oh, if I was any better, I couldn't stand it. How is everything in the tire business?
Well, we're doing all right now, Zeb. Appreciate you asking about it. Right now, we've got our spring tire sale on. All of our Toyo tires are on sale. The 70,000-mile Eclipse tire, the 80,000-mile Ultra Z900. Both those are car tires. And we've got our Toyo Open Country AT2, our 60,000-mile SUV and pickup tire on sale. And also our Wildcat AT2 on sale. And they all come with our best tire value promise, free road hazards, workmanship, defective material warranties, free flash rotations, rebalance for the life of the tire at any Les Schwab store. So we think Toyo is the best brand in all the market, and we sell a lot of them right now. Good product.
I have been absolutely satisfied, and I mean this as a personal testimonial with the tires that I've had on my pickup truck, thanks to you. Randy, how do people know what to buy as far as tires are concerned? How do they know about what's a good quality tire and what maybe is just mediocre?
Well, obviously where they drive, we have a lot of people who live south of Burley into Oakley and Raft River and that. And if they're on a lot of gravel, we'll put a certain tread pattern on them that holds up better off-road. People are straight on highway and they don't want noise, we'll put more of a highway tire on them. And then, of course, the brand name. Some of these Chinese tires that come over that are entry-level, you get what you pay for versus the higher end, the Michelins, the Goodyears, the Toyos. That means a lot when you buy a tire. So,
well, Randy, if tires and the manufacturing of tires, have they changed at all over the years from the original concepts of rubber tires? I mean, what have been some of the innovations that have changed the industry, especially with Mr. Les Schwab when he started this plant up in Prineville?
Well, obviously, now you can buy a tire that goes 80 to 100,000 miles, and then you couldn't. That makes a big difference. Everything's radials now. They use different mold compounds in them, a lot more siping in the tread. And then we have some tires that have those grooves in them for the aquaflow grooves, you call them, for the water, any kind of rain or snow. So they've come a long ways as far as how they've been manufactured, for sure, over the last 20, 30 years.
Let me ask you this question, Randy. When they stop at a Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Center, and there's 7 locations here in this area, people, are they paying attention that if they're going to go on a trip, let's say that they're going to go to Denver, or maybe they're aiming towards Phoenix or wherever, do they really pay attention to all the things that are safety conscious, like front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, brakes, and that type of thing? Do they really understand what they need to check on?
Well, some people do. We offer right now a pre-trip safety check where we look at the tires and check the battery, just look at the front end, see if an alignment's needed, look at the brake hoses, the shocks, the struts, all that. So, and then when we rotate tires or something, my guys will try to, any Les Schwab store, we'll look and make sure that everything looks kind of neat, that the brake pads are still good, things like that. So we try, if they don't notice when we work on the car, we have guys that fill the form out and go through a checklist and make sure everything's okay. If not, we let the customer know. So that helps quite a bit too.
You know, talk a little bit about your brake service. All 7 locations with the best in brake service, professionally trained technicians. Boy, to me, that's the most critical. When you put your foot on that brake and say, whoa, you want some stoppage.
Yeah, we do, and we do a little thing different here at Les Schwab. We don't just do a pad slap. We put remanufactured calipers back on, bleed the entire system, because it's more than just brake pads. So we try to offer the whole thing with brakes, and our guys go through training courses and that, and they're all brake certified at all the Les Schwab stores. So that's important. And then we put a 25,000-mile warranty on the brakes after we get done working on them as well. So we try to keep up on all the new innovations in the brakes for sure.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about this morning, Randy, is, a lot of people like myself, they got that pick-em-up truck, and come springtime, they're either hooking on to a boat or maybe a horse trailer or maybe a camp trailer. What kind of changes do they have to make as far as their tires, their tire pressure, and that type of thing?
Well, I mean, if you're pulling stuff, obviously I have a boat too. When we pull that, we always want to make sure our rear tires are on whatever SUV or pickup is aired up more. And if we're not pulling it, that helps carry the weight for sure. And we generally put 60 pounds in the rear of a pickup if they're pulling a boat or a trailer, or more than that if they're pulling something that's heavier. But you definitely want to adjust the air pressure for sure. That makes a big difference as far as any tire issues you have down the road or carrying capacity with the tire.
Absolutely, and I got to tell you, the service, folks, you've heard many people call in when I've had my commercial for your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and they've given testimonials about the service and the people. I mean, they come at a high lope to serve you. Where do you and every location find these excellent people to put on those white shirts and work at a gallop all day long?
Well, it's not easy. We try to get the best people we can. My dad always told me everybody sells tires, but service is what sets you apart. And if you don't have service, people won't come back. So we try to take care of customers' needs when they're here. And then at Les Schwab, we have a nice deal. There's 450 of us stores throughout the West, and we're into Denver now. They went clear down to the Los Angeles area. Now they're expanding to. They got the whole state of California almost covered. Nevada, Washington, even into Alaska, Oregon, Nevada, so with Montana. So it helps if somebody's on the road and they have an issue with the tire, they can get a warranty at any Les Schwab store. And it's big for people that come in with kids that go to college. If they're going to college and there's a Les Schwab store by, they can buy tires here and have peace of mind knowing that their children are taken care of wherever they're in school, too, if they have an issue.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. That's why I'm so proud of the fact that the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers are my major sponsor on this program. And, Randy, I really appreciate it. Why don't you're going to finish kind of our extended commercial this morning and tell us who is in charge of all 7 locations. Give us the locations and the names.
Okay, sure, absolutely. We appreciate the job you've done for us, too, Zeb. You did a good job advertising for us, and we appreciate all you've done for us. We have Mike over in Buell, another Mike over in Jerome, Dave Cox down in Twin Falls, myself here in Burley, Max and Paul, Lane and Rupert, and then on the pole line store in Twin Falls is John Macklin's there. So all 7 of us work together pretty well, and hopefully we can take care of everything everyone needs. So
absolutely. Randy Wind Tires West, my buddy, and enjoy your stay at home from now on, and just work hard and serve the public. Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, thank you, Randy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Zeb. See you, bud.
God bless. Thank you. Really, really nice guy right there. They all are. They all are. And I'm honored to have them as our major sponsor on this program. Thank you very much, Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We've got just a moment or two. Give me a call and share with me your thoughts this morning about anything that comes to mind. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I'd like to hear from you. Oh, by the way, just a little teaser. You know how the Obama administration, and they're cutting their plans right now for unveiling a new greenhouse gas reduction to curb and cut global warming or climate change. Well, some of the big shots are leaving the fold of the Obama administration, and a former Maryland governor and presidential hopeful, and a Democrat, by the way, He said on ABC News the other day that global warming is not man-made. It is a natural threat because of cyclical changes. Oh, gee, haven't we heard that many times before? And then the liberal left tries to shut us up, the Al Gore types. Oh, no, it's all man-caused. Why, we've got to stop cars. We've got to stop gasoline. We've got to stop all fossil fuels. We've got to have people live in caves and burn buffalo dung. More people every day are looking at this so-called climate change and saying, no, not man-caused, but a cyclical change in the weather, and looks like we're going into a, heaven forbid, a cold spell. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call real fast on the landline, and we'd love to hear from you. Once again, a quick reminder, Denny's Restaurant in Twin Falls, 291 Pole Line, is celebrating. Today is their grand opening, and Thomas has done such a wonderful job with his partners in the restaurant business with Denny's in Burley, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch, and our next lunch bunch will be on Thursday, the 23rd. Write that down. And then the new location that's having a grand opening today, and that's, of course, at Denny's at 291 Pole Line in Twin Falls. Wheels, we made it through another week. Are you still over there and unscathed?
Yes, sir.
You're starting to liven up a little bit. Are you getting more comfortable with the job?
I am, to be honest.
Okay. By the way, what is your favorite color?
Blue. Blue's always been my favorite.
Blue, okay.
Yes.
You have a gift coming to you, and it'll be not in the next day or two, but in the next week. And now that I know what that is, we're going to take care of it. But you have done a yeoman's job. Good job for... had you ever done this before? I mean, run the board for a talk show?
No, actually, I haven't. This is the first time that I've actually have done it.
Okay, and so you haven't had any thoughts of maybe jumping out of a basement window or anything, have you?
No, not really. And to be honest, Steve rephrased your question from yesterday if I wanted to get in to talk radio.
Yeah.
And I told him that it actually wouldn't be that bad. As you can tell, I'm a really social person as it is anyways. So
very friendly person.
Seem like a bad idea, yes.
Yep. I wish you the very best in the future too.
Thank you.
I tell you what, if you got a kind of a patriotic country song right there that you can play for us and lead us out of here for this week, and I'm going to wish everybody this. I want to wish you and your families a very happy Easter. I want you to enjoy the weekend, tomorrow being Good Friday, Sunday, of course, being Easter Sunday. I want you to really remember the reason for the day, and God bless you and your family. From Deanne and I at our house, happy Easter. Until next Monday at 8:06, Zeb at the Ranch, the way things were, the way things ought to be. Wheels, have a good weekend. We'll see you Monday.